Our bodies have so many different kinds of cells. There is a large variety, and they're all different shapes, they're all different sizes, and they all have different functions. Now, we know that a collection of cells is going to make a tissue, and a collection of tissue makes an organ. So, unless you have the same kind of cell, it's not performing the same job. I think most books say that we have around 30 trillion cells, and that's a lot. And there's all different kinds of sizes. Some are very, very tiny, some of them are very large, and they all have specific jobs. If they're working together, then we have a tissue. And then, if the tissues are working together, we have an organ. And then, of course, we have multiple organs that make up organ systems. But all the cells in our bodies have got different functions. And I said this just a couple of slides ago that, for us, we have got such specialized cells that they only have one job. But if we're looking at something like an amoeba that is a single celled organism but doesn't have tissue, then that one little cell has to take in food and has to eliminate waste, and it has to make proteins, and it has to do everything, it has to move, it has to do everything that that cell, or provide everything for that cell. Whereas in an organism like a human, we have cells with individual jobs. We have some cells that are releasing hormones, some cells are contracting, some cells are passing along nerve impulses. So we're highly specialized. But as we start this journey into the cell, we do have to start with our single cell organisms, such as our bacteria, and they're known as prokaryotic. And then we will advance to like the amoeba, and then on up to more specialized organisms. Okay, for all cells, they do share the same basic three features. They all have an outer boundary. So we know that we have a cell membrane. You can also call it the plasma membrane if you want to. But this cell membrane's job is it's a barrier. It's to keep things from coming in that don't need to be there. It allows things to come in that do need to be there. It also keeps things from getting out that we would not want to be released. And of course, there are things that need to get out into our system, such as hormones, neurotransmitters, that kind of thing that your cell is making, but we need to release those types of substances into our bloodstream. So this boundary is really very picky about what it lets in and what it lets out. There's also an interior substance, and this interior substance we usually know is the cytoplasm, and it's going to hold a lot of organelles. The cytoplasm is the area between the plasma membrane and the nuclear membrane, and it holds most of our organelles like the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus. We also have a control region. So for eukaryotic cells, that means we have a membrane around our nucleus. Then our nucleus is our control region. In simple cells like bacteria, they have DNA, but they don't have a nuclear membrane surrounding it. They just have a region called the nucleoid region, which is in the center holding the DNA. It still controls all the function of the cells. It just differs in the fact that there is no membrane.